In this video, I will show you how you can create this Morbius movie poster. It's not the original one, it's something I just made up after seeing the trailer of it, and I think it's pretty cool that they gave Jared Leto a role as Morbius now, because that Joker was a little bit of a mismatch with him. So anyways, you can find all the images that I use in the description of the video, so just follow along and you will create the same image. Alright, now this is the only image I could find that has a decent quality to work with, so I'm just gonna try to use this one. And let's start off with creating a new file here, and the image isn't that big size, so I'm just gonna use A5 here for the design to create this poster. Now let's start off with dragging this in our file and press right mouse and convert to smart object. And now we can make this bigger and rotate this. It looks a little bit weird when he's standing like this. We have too much space here left around it, so I'm gonna rotate it a little bit more like that so we can fill up these areas. And let's put it something like that. Let's make the background black, so I'm just gonna press Command Ctrl I, and now I want to make sure we don't see these lines around it, so I'm gonna select on this layer and create a mask. Now I want to select the black brush, just a normal brush, soft round, leave the opacity and flow at 100, and let's first get rid of this outer line. This is a little bit challenging, this part, because I don't want to get rid of his teeth, still want to see that, so I need to make sure this is okay. And let's make this bigger and drop the opacity around 50%. Now we can brush a little bit more around it. Now it's like he's in some sort of circle of darkness here, so this is okay for now, and we can edit this later on if it's too much or we need to edit this more. So I'm gonna leave it like this for now. Now let's start off with getting some details right. So I'm gonna create a new layer here and select the color here, and let's do the eyes first. So I want to make sure the eyes are really red and popping out, so I'm gonna select really red color here, select a normal brush, just a general soft round brush, basically in flow at 100, and I'm gonna make like 2 dots here. After that, I'm gonna change the blending mode to overlay. So that's it for the eyes, just a little bit more details here. And let's also create a new layer here, and this time I'm gonna get some more color right on this side of his face. So I'm gonna select something like greenish, like this color from the original image, and also change the blending mode to overlay. And this time I'm gonna drop the opacity because I don't want to have it too much, just a little bit more on this side. So as you can see, this was before and this after. It gets a little bit more color, and I want to make sure it doesn't affect the eye, so I'm gonna remove there. Just a little bit more details here. Alright, now I got this photo that we're gonna use, this grunge effect background. I'm gonna select it and put it behind him, convert to smart object so we don't ruin the quality. Press Ctrl Command T to resize this, and let's make this bigger. So now we have some details here around it. And let's do some levels here so we can see this better. Create some levels here, make sure to press this so we only affect this layer underneath it, and let's adjust these settings. It's a little bit more darker but still visible with all the details, so something like this is fine. Now we can do some dodge and burn here so we can get all these details right. So let's create a new layer first here and go to edit, fill, and select 50% gray. After that, you want to change the blend mode to overlay, and let's start off with the dodge tool. So I'm going to select the dodge tool here and do highlights here and leave the exposure at 50%, around 50, and start brushing these highlights. This is even too much, so I'm going to drop this to around 40. So let's get these highlights popping out. So I'm just brushing all these highlights here, a bit here, a little bit on the nose. So this way it makes this Morpheus even scarier than he already is. So let's do some here, 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 just a little bit. And now we can do some midtones and drop the exposure like that. And maybe also the teeth here so we can see those better. Now we can do some burn, so I'm gonna select the burn tool and also do the highlights first. Let's get these dark areas darker, so this way this image looks even scarier and we get all the dark tones dark now. Let's do some midtones now and drop the exposure. Alright, now these eyes are a little bit too bright, so I'm gonna drop this slightly. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna export this as a PNG file and open this up in Lightroom. So I got this opened up in Lightroom, and you can get these presets if you check the link in the description. These are all my presets, and especially this 7 I use for digital art. As you can see, this is before and this is after. Makes a huge difference now, and only thing I have to do here is just adjust these settings in exposure, for example, because it's a little bit too dark now. And let's also do some highlights here. Let's play with the whites here, just slightly editing these. Don't have to do much here, just a little bit changes, and to make this image really cool now. Alright, that's too much, so won't do that. Alright, I think this looks pretty cool, and I'm gonna export this just as a JPEG file and open this up in Photoshop again. This is the file I just created in Lightroom, so I'm open this up in Photoshop, and I'm just gonna copy it and put it above all the other layers. As you can see, this is before and this is after. It looks a bit more like a cartoon or something. And now we can just use this one. Just gonna copy that and put it above all the layers. Convert smart object and change blend mode to screen. And let's make this bigger. This looks a little bit too grayish, so I'm gonna do some curves here and get more darker colors like that. As you can see, this looks a lot better now, and we can slightly increase the highlights here. And next I want to do is get this text more popping out, so I'm just gonna duplicate this layer. That's better. And now we can get the colors right, so let's start off with going to this layer again and select this and do some red here, a little bit more greenish. This looks fine, and let's check the blue. So usually I just check all these curves here, and we can do some color balance here, a little bit more like that. So this looks pretty cool, and if it's still too dark, I just can adjust the curves and make this lighter with increasing the highlights here. So this is really personal preference. If you like it more lighter, you can do it like this. If you like it dark, you could do it like that. And if you like it more like black, you can just edit this one. So that is pretty much it. So thanks for watching. Hope you like my videos, and don't forget to subscribe if you do, and see you on the next one.